Good morning. You find me in Glen Affric today, and I'm going to attempt, as you might be able to see with the big backpack, to bag the 5 of the South Mullardoch Munros. I was planning on doing the whole 12 in a oneer, but I've not been out since July, and I needed to be able to bag a few Munros on the weekend. And a lot of the ones I've got left can afford 2 or 3 together, and the weather is not supposed to be great tomorrow, so I figured if I can get, stay out longer and bag more, then that'd be a good idea. So I've decided to split the Mullardoch Munros up. I'm not sure I'm fit enough anyway, but I'm gonna try and get the 5 of the southern ones. So it's the 5 to the east, and then there'll be 3 left on the far side, kind of closer to the youth hostel. And then, yeah, I'll come back and have to do the 4 north of Loch Mullardoch another time. So I'm just walking along the path before I head up to the first Munro. I think I'm going to go up a path that people usually go down when they do the circular, but it means I have a straight ridge. I say straight, but you know what I mean. Instead of doubling back on myself, I think it's the better option. So I'm following this path here around, and usually people go up where that waterfall is. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, dropping my sticks just there. But I'm going to go up a bit earlier and head up to this first Munro up here, then across to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and camp hopefully near the 5th Munro. I think it's Mam Sodal. That's the plan anyway. It's beautiful weather this morning, and phone telling me what time it is. Yeah, beautiful weather. It's supposed to be nice all day. Fog's supposed to come in about 6-7 o'clock tonight, so which I don't mind, because I plan on having the tent pitched by then and cooking my dinner. So I'll bring you back when I'm making my ascent up to the first Munro. Look at this gorgeous river. Seems a bit of a hydro scheme. It's typical for around here, but also really good source of green energy. Look at this view though. Stunning. I think this is part of, not 100% sure if this path is, but I'm sure this is part of the Great Glen Way, which is just gorgeous. I've talked about it before, but I think I would like to do some of the long distance trails, and this is certainly one I'd like to walk the full length of this glen. I've started to take some height. There's the path down near the stream there, and that's, like I said, the usual way you go up there, just in front of the Munro there. But I'm heading up here. I suppose it's a direct route up to the first Munro, and it's often the route that you, unlike Walk Highlands, that it suggests coming down instead of going all the way back to the Biach and then down that one. This is just coming down here, but I thought, in the interest of making it a more circular route, I would head up this way. It's pathless, but it's not too bad. It's not completely soaking wet. It's been dry the last few days, lots of inversions and stuff going on, so it's fairly dry, not too wet underfoot. But I'm gonna crack on, keep going, and I think once I get past this first initial steep bit, I should be able to, it should be a little bit more gradual, still steep, but not as steep as this bit. So I'll catch you up when I'm closer to the top of the Munro. Right, I'm about 250 metres of ascent left to get to the first Munro. That was a slog. It's all pathless, all slightly boggy, tussocky, heathery, just not enjoyable. It was definitely tough going. So I'm now on this rockier, almost like Cairngorm-esque plateau, shaly, bouldery ground, which to be honest it feels nice underfoot. At least I can see where my foot's going to go, so I'm hoping it won't take too long. Munro's just up there, and then it's across to the number 2, which is just over there. I say just, it's still a fair walk, but I think once I'm up and I'm crossing over, there's going to be dips obviously, but I feel like I've got the majority of the ascent done, and so it's just going to be little ups and downs. They'll still be tough, I know that, but I always feel mentally better when I'm a bit higher up and I'm up. I've hit the first Munro and then I'm just dropping a couple hundred meters to go back up again. I can make better time, so spent a bit of time getting up here, not rushing, and yeah, feel good about it. Right, I'll bring you back when I'm nearly on the summit. That's me getting to the summit of Tall Guriach, I think. First Munro of the day. There's the first cairn and the trig point over there. This looks higher, but I'll touch both. I'm looking forward to a seat. As you can see, the clouds are coming in. Typical. This one certainly looks taller, but hey, I'll tap both. That was a slog. Sometimes what looks shorter on the map is not always the most enjoyable route. It might be the shortest route up there, but it's a long, steep, sluggy pool. Let's touch this trig as well. Just in case. Oh, there we go. There's Loch Mullardoch, just down there. There's the Loch Mullardoch Munros. I'm about to get clagged in, just as I'm about to get clagged in. So I think I'm going to get a jumper on, or a jacket on, try and find a bit of shelter from this wind, sit for 15 minutes, have a drink, and then push on to the next one. Hopefully this just clears, but I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a bit, but that's a Munro 171, just another 4 more to go today. So the hood's up, it's definitely got a bit colder. I'm heading down to the Bealach, or I'm on the Bealach I think, to the next Munro. Surprising how quickly the weather turned there. It's been lovely. I've been in my long sleeve t-shirt all morning. A bit cold in the morning when I first got up, but like as soon as I started walking it was fine temperatures. But anyway, might be a day of in and out of the clag, but I'm still getting some nice views over to the Mullardoch hills. You can see a little bit of Loch Mullardoch down there and the silhouettes of them there. Yeah, heading up this way. I think this is the Bealach I would have come up if I was doing that one first. Or you can go up the ridge and then I think the one I've just done. But anyway, thought I'd give you an update. It's a bit rocky and bouldery here, but yeah, far easier. I can make a lot better time on this than that long, slow, painful ascent. But I'll bring you back when I'm a bit closer to Munro number 2. That's me at the Bealach proper, and there in the cloud, the clag is the second Munro. It doesn't take him long to get over here. Typical, it's clear over where the first Munro is, Tall Guriach, something like that. So now just time to head up this one. A little bit of a drop now, and then about 250 meters of ascent, I think, to get up to this one. It looks more than that, but map assures me it's not, so we'll see. But it's going well so far, and I'm glad that big chunk of ascent's out of the way. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. We're at Munro number 2, Tomaconic, I think. It's 1,110 or 1,112. I'll have to double check. But that was a steep old pull up. But distance wise it wasn't far, so it's just a consistent plod. There we go. Anyway, here we go. Munro 172. Oh, I'm pleased. I'm going to stop and have some lunch, and then I'm just going to march on and keep going. I've given myself some timer goals, so I can try and get to the next Munro by, I think it's just about 1 o'clock now. So if I can get there for about 2:30ish, the next one for about 3:34, and the final one for about 5 or 6, and then I'm going to camp near the final Munro. And then it's just a nice walk out tomorrow. It's a long walk out, but at least it's, the majority of it's downhill. But tired, but feeling good. Glad that two are now in the bag, and it's just a long march off to Carnay, I think it's called. But anyway, I'll catch up with you a bit further along. That's me just off the summit of Tomaconic. Hope that's how you say it. And I'm just heading over to Carnay again. I think a lesson in Gaelic would be a good idea, but it was a bit claggy on the top, so I've come from, there's Loch Mullardoch down there, and the Munros to the north of it, the 4 Munros to the north. This is the way I'm going. As you can see, the clag keeps coming in and out. Just follow this up and over. Don't mind if it's a bit claggy. I just, yeah, don't want any of the rain. So not now anyway. It's not due to rain today, so not anyway from what the forecast said. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that's correct, because it would be nice to stay dry before pitching up for the night. I'm hoping to camp near Mam Sodal. Again, I don't know if that's how you say it, but it has just down to the south of it, there's an old deer stalking bothy. It doesn't have a roof, but I was thinking it might be a nice spot to find a bit of shelter, you know, depending on which direction the wind's coming from, and maybe what direction it's going to change in the night. I can pitch the tent and get a bit of shelter from the wind, and if it's fairly clear inside, I might even pitch the tent inside the bothy. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm going to crack on, make some more, get some more miles in, get over to the next Munro, and just keep plugging away at this. It's going to be a long walk over, I think. So I'll pick you back up when I'm further along. So there's quite a few bumps from the second Munro over to the third, and that's one of them there. Had to drop down a bit and come up that, and then drop down this, and then hit up this. And this is actually taller than the Munro just behind that, like the ridge there that's just in the cloud. That Munro is smaller than this, but this isn't a Munro. It must be a Munro top. I don't really bag the Munro tops, but obviously if I'm going over them, I'm going over them. But yeah, it's just, I don't know what the rules are for Munros. Like, I know there's something to do with prominence and from other Munros, and you've got to have a certain drop off and things like that, but yeah, just it's tough when you've just done a Munro and you're going over something that's taller than the Munro and it's not a Munro. I think I've said Munro too many times. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. I just stopped to have a little bit of water and then carry on. Hopefully get to the top of this. It doesn't look like it drops down much more after this, just some little ones, you know, like 40-50 meters and then back up again. Something like that's fine. It's just when it drops down a couple hundred meters, when you're not expecting it. I don't know why I didn't expect this. When I looked at the map just now, it's obvious, but I guess when I was looking at, when I planned it, I didn't take into account this. Anyway, less yapping and then let's get up there. I'm stunning ridge walking over to Carney. Some stunning ridge walking over to Carney. A few little obstacles to get past here, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I think I underestimated the distance between these Munros. The second one I've done, and my next one, which is Carney, my third Munro, it's a lot further than I thought, so timings are going to be a little bit out, but I don't mind. I've been thinking about it as I've been walking, and I think what I'm going to do is, regardless, I'm going to try and get to the spot where I want to camp, even if that means hiking in dusk a little bit. I just feel like it gives me the better option for tomorrow for getting out, the easiest, so I'm not having to do any more Munros in the morning. It's just head over, I think it's this ridge here, and then down, and then cross a little bit of moorland, and then pick up a 4x4 track. And it's a long walk down the 4x4 track and then the road as well, but if I know I've got a long walk out, I want to make sure that I've got all the Munros done. So even if I have to stick a head torch on for a little bit, I'm going to do it, because I want to get these Munros done. I've decided I'm dropping my bag. Once I've done Carney, I'm going to drop my bag in the Belach between the third and fourth one. I can't remember what the fourth one's called, but it's like an out and back, so I'm going to drop my bag in the middle. I think this should be a spot to fill up, to filter some water as well, and then head over to the fifth and final Munro, and then hopefully somewhere to camp. Right, I'm going to crack on. I need to keep making some good time. I'll bring you back when I'm closer to the Munro. Right, that's me at the base of Carney. I'll show you. There we go. Just to the top of there. When you're a bit further back, you can see the cairn. And then to the left of it is the fifth Munro, just a little bit in the clag. And to the right of it, which is a lot smaller than these two. It's about 1,000, no, not 1,000, it's about 100 and something meters, nearly 200 meters smaller. So it's this one, leave my bag near the bottom, grab that one, come back down quickly, grab the bag. You can skirt around this on the other side of it, and then head over to Mamsagal, so, which is where I'm hoping to camp, just on the other side of the summit. But I do need to get water, so I'm hoping, on the map there's a stream, the Belach down there, so I'm hoping that there's some water that I can filter, and then have enough for my dinner tonight, and a hot chocolate, and enough water for the way out tomorrow. There'll be plenty of water on the way out, as well, but just when you're up high you don't often get as much water. Anyway, I'm going to try and get this done as quick as I can up to the top of this third Munro for the day, number 173 in total, and then I'll pick you back up when I'm sat on the summit, or about to summit. That is a welcome sight. That is Carney. I hope I'm saying it right. Such a long walk over from Tomaconic. Just, and so many Munro size hills to walk over to get here, and ridges and some little scrambly bits. It's a lot more than I expected, but there's some nice views out to Mamsaral, the fifth and final, and then it was just clagged in. But there's the fourth Munro. It's not too far away, but it does look like a bit of a drop. But I have a plan. I'm leaving my bag at the bottom of the drop and then picking it back up again after I've ascended that one. Right, let's get to the summit. Whew, this has been a hard one. Let's go around this way. Top of Carney. What a hike. Now have a look at this. That's the way I've come, and that one should be in the middle. That is the second Munro that I did, and there was a lot of up and downs to get over here. It's a fair distance. Thankfully these look a little closer. Fourth one there, and then Mamsaral over there. So I think you can bypass underneath this. I'm sure I've seen it on videos and maps and things, so keep my fingers crossed for that. But I'm going to stop, get some water, get something quickly to eat, and then keep going. I don't think I'm going to sit around too long, but enough to let my body rest for 5 minutes. I'll catch you when I'm heading down. That's me off Carney. This is just up there, and I've just come down this path here and heading over to the fourth Munro. I'm going to drop my bag just at the base of it, and hopefully I should be able to get some water there as well, as long as the maps are right and there is a spring there. The light is gorgeous. It's stunning. So I think this might be the bypass path. I'm going to take it. I'm a bit dubious, a bit worried about taking it. But I think I'm going to take it and at least see. I can always correct it if not. It's a bit of a pain if it's not. But I think I'll give it a try. Instead of bushwhacking over, I'll see if that is the bypass path. Hopefully it doesn't lead me down into the glen, because that would be very annoying. But obviously I can keep checking the map, keep checking the elevation and stuff, and yeah, hopefully get past Carney on my way to Mamsaral and the last Munro. So I'm hoping I'll be at the base of this Munro within 10 minutes, and then I can drop my bag, have a look for the water, fuel up, well, get some water on me, and then head up with no backpack, which would be lovely, and then straight back down. I'll obviously do the photo, straight back down, and then on the way. So I'll stop yapping and I'll try and march on. I think I've got just under 2 hours, well, 2 hours till sunset, but then there's always a bit of dusk, isn't there? So I'm hoping I'll have enough time to do this and get over to Mamsaral before it's pitch black anyway. and catch up with you in a bit. Right, I've just dropped my bag at the base of the fourth and not final Munro, because that one there is the final Munro. I've just come down off Carney, because there, followed this down, just went down here. There's a bit of water around here, so I went and found a stream, and I prefer running water. Filled up my bottle, so I've got another litre and a half of water. I've drunk a litre and a half, and I've had another at least half a litre of my Lucozade, so keeping hydrated. And then as soon as I've done this, pick up the bag, and then follow this, see what my hand is, follow this path, skirt round there, and then up Mamsagal, and then try and find that little abandoned bothy with no roof, just so it doesn't sound like I'm living in the lap of luxury. There is no roof, so we'll still definitely be using my tent, but just going to use it to block the wind, you know, find the side that's out of the wind and stick the tent up there and hopefully have a nice peaceful night's sleep. Right, I'll pick you back up when I'm further up. I am hoping that by dropping the bag I'm not going to be as tired, so we'll see. Alright, there's a pleasant sight. There's the summit of the 4th Munro. As you can tell, I'm still out of breath, but it was a heck of a lot easier than hiking up there with my backpack. So not long now and I'll be on the summit. Here we go, the summit of the 4th Munro. And do you know what, I'm going to find out what it is. There's a keep just calling it the 4th Munro. Ben Fionda, that's what I'll call it. It's massively wrong, I know, but it's a vein anyway. Look at how the weather's turned out. So many Munros. Oh. Munro 174 and the 4th of this trip. Oh, take a seat, and I'm sat here looking at the last Munro of the trip and thinking, do I have the energy to get over there? Now, I think a few more fruit pastels, swig of Lucozade, and I'll be alright. And the thought of pitching my tent not far away and you getting a big beef and potato stew on, oh, sounds brilliant. I can't wait. So I'm going to quickly take a couple of photos, check in at home, and then I'm heading off straight back down and straight across there. I'm not going to waste too much time. Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time here. But the views are beautiful, it's just time is not on my side anymore. Alright, I'll pick you back up when I'm heading over. So, I don't think I'm going to get there before the sun sets. Also the bypass took us a lot lower than I wanted it to. So I'm having to head to the Bilach, having a diagonal line. The path was really good for a while and it just disappeared and left me too low. Pain. Anyway, look at the sunset, it's looking gorgeous, but I think it's going to be my undoing. As soon as that drops down, I'm going to be in darkness, so I kind of want to shift and get over there, at least then, so I should be on the path. Sorry, it's a bit mental. So, I last was speaking to you when I was on the side of Carney, going around to Mam Sod Hill, I think it's called, and the battery died. So I thought it was more important that I get to the summit of Mam Sod Hill before changing the battery out, because I've got the medium mod on my GoPro. It's a bit of a farce. By the time I got there, slowly, I was exhausted. So I found a spot to camp just off the summit in a sheltered area, sheltered to begin with. Set up all my stuff, searched for the battery, thought I'll do a bit in the tent, and there was nothing, no battery, so I reckon it's in the car somewhere. I woke up this morning, didn't have the greatest of sleeps. I woke up this morning, packed away the tent, and started to head towards the ridge. I was going to be walking along, which was there, and the gusts of wind were mental. So I checked my office, still had a bit of signal, and it said 38 miles an hour gust. There is a different way. You can go down this glen. Go down here. You head south from Mam Hill, and then just drop down the glen. And to be honest, there's a really good path all the way down. I think it's technically longer, but I think in the long run it'll be faster than hiking up the up and over the ridge. And I've seen loads of deer, loads of rutting stags roaring down the glen. It's been amazing. It's been pretty atmospheric, and that's often what photographers say when the weather's been rubbish and it's cloudy, but it has been atmospheric. I'll stop for a second. So I'm heading down. I can see the big 4x4 track now, and I've got to, there's a long walk back up. I have to go up the loch, back to the car, but it's all been downhill. I've been making good time. Pull this back over. And it's been straightforward. So I thought I would film a little bit on my phone. When I get back to the car, I'll fix the GoPro and I'll close out exactly how things have gone and my rating and everything. But I just thought I would do a little quick bit on my iPhone.